Welcome to Social Work 242, Session 2. The topics of this session include qualitative data collection, qualitative data analysis, and research proposal development. We'll start with a brief overview of qualitative research. Last semester, we defined qualitative research methods as those that are focused on subjectivity in the research process. Data in qualitative research include the use of people's words or observations. The research is focused on aspects of behavior and feelings that are not easily reduced to numbers, and there's an emphasis on exploring a topic in depth. Because the data in qualitative research are not numbers, it is more difficult to establish internal validity with qualitative research compared to quantitative research. Internal validity refers to the degree to which one variable causes another variable. Instead, qualitative research focuses on exploring concepts and ideas and then grouping people's responses into categories that help reflect the meaning of the phenomenon that is being studied. The 5 research designs that we discussed last semester include narrative or life history, phenomenology, grounded theory, ethnography or naturalism, and case study. The sampling in qualitative research is usually not random, but instead might use convenience sampling, purposive sampling, or snowball sampling. Because the sampling in qualitative research is not random, the external validity of qualitative research is low. External validity refers to the ability of the study's results to generalize to the population of people from which the sample was drawn. Last semester, we also talked about various types of qualitative data collection. Qualitative interviews involve one interviewer and one participant. Qualitative interviewing is a common form of data collection because it allows people to elaborate on a topic. This elaboration creates the type of in-depth and detailed data that are needed for qualitative research. In addition, qualitative interviewing is useful when the research topic is sensitive and there is a need to maintain participants' privacy and confidentiality. Qualitative interviews are also useful when the topic is complicated and there is a need to ask a series of questions in order to understand the research topic. Another form of qualitative data collection is observation, which is common in ethnographic or naturalistic research because understanding a cultural or social group's shared norms and customs often requires actually seeing the group while they are in the midst of their interactions. Observation is a form of qualitative data collection that involves the researcher observing participants and recording detailed information about behaviors, interactions, settings, emotions, and any other details related to the research topic. Observations are usually recorded in the form of field notes, which include written notes of observations and the researcher's reactions and interpretations about the data. Observation is also useful when the researcher is working with participants who have difficulty speaking, for example, with children. The researcher's role as observer can range from a complete non-participant, an unobtrusive observer, to a complete participant, also defined as a participant observer. Focus groups are a form of qualitative data collection in which a group of approximately 5 to 12 people discuss a topic that they share in common, which is the research topic. 1 or 2 facilitators lead the group using a semi-structured interview approach. Focus groups are a common form of qualitative data collection because they allow for interactions between people, which can allow for greater detail in the data than would be available in other types of data collection. Focus groups are also useful because data can be collected from many people at one time. Now we'll spend a few minutes thinking about the practical aspects of conducting a focus group. A comfortable setting and food are really important in making people feel relaxed when they come to a focus group. In addition, creating a welcoming environment helps to make people feel that the researcher appreciates their time and energy in coming to the focus group, and this demonstrates a respectful partnership with research participants. The facilitator of the focus group has a number of duties, including clearly communicating to the participants what the purpose of the focus group is and what will happen to the data. In addition, the facilitator is responsible for completing the informed consent process with participants, which includes telling participants that the research is voluntary and that they can refuse to participate in the study or any part of it. This process also involves ensuring participants that the data are confidential and that their identity will not be revealed in documents that are produced from the research, and also that the researchers will not share the identity of participants with anyone. The facilitator also distributes and collects signed consent forms from participants. In addition to these tasks, the facilitator also builds rapport with participants with a friendly, welcoming, and non-judgmental demeanor, which helps participants feel comfortable answering the focus group questions. The facilitator then asks the focus group questions and follow-up questions and manages the group so that the discussion stays on topic and so that all participants feel comfortable expressing themselves and have a chance to contribute to the discussion. It's also important that focus group facilitators do not contribute to the discussion themselves and remain neutral regarding participants' responses. The most important role of the focus group facilitator is to ask the focus group questions and the follow-up questions. It is important for qualitative data to be rich with details so that during the analysis process the researcher can understand the meaning of people's responses. There is often a need to ask participants to elaborate on their answers so that their responses can be thoroughly understood. So in addition to asking the main focus group questions, facilitators use follow-up questions to help participants expand on their answers and also to make sure that the meaning of their answers is understood. Specifically, facilitators may reflect back participants' answers or ask for clarification or more information about a response. Facilitators also monitor the flow and timing of the group and listen for natural breaks in the conversation or repetition in responses before moving on to the next question. In session 3, we'll practice conducting focus groups, and it's helpful to have an understanding of what happens to the data that are collected in a focus group. So we'll now turn to the topic of qualitative analysis, which we'll also address in more depth in session 6. The main goal of qualitative analysis is to group passages of the text within transcripts or field notes into themes and meaningful categories that answer your overall research question. This involves the process of reading transcripts of focus groups or interviews several times and coding passages of the text by marking the data with notes that you think reflect the themes or categories that are evident in the text. There are a variety of methods that researchers can use to analyze qualitative data. The approach that a researcher chooses depends on the type of data, the research design, and the purpose of the analysis. Qualitative analysis software can help researchers organize and manage qualitative data. However, even with the use of these programs, the researcher is still the one to develop a code or a category and assign it to a passage of the text. Coding is marking the data with notes and category names. Initial codes are revised and refined as the transcripts are read and reread. Specific quotes are selected that help to represent the concept being explored, and patterns and relationships between codes are identified. In the Smith and Firth article on qualitative analysis, the authors describe a framework approach to qualitative analysis that explains and illustrates these processes. They identify 3 steps in the process. The first is data management, which includes reading the transcripts several times, identifying preliminary codes or categories for passages of the text, refining categories, developing a coding matrix, and assigning codes to passages of the text. The second step includes descriptive accounts, which includes further refinement of the initial themes or categories and identification of connections between the themes so that a holistic picture of the phenomenon under study is obtained. The third step includes explanatory accounts, which includes further refinement of the relationships between themes or the patterns of themes, comparing and contrasting these themes with the original data to ensure accurate interpretation, and relating the themes back to theories or previous literature on the topic and possible implications. These are the types of processes that you'll use for the Assignment 1 qualitative analysis paper. Now I'll spend a few minutes describing the research proposal paper for this class. The research proposal paper for this class is a hypothetical research proposal. You won't implement this proposal, although it is possible that the work from this project, especially the literature review, could be used in your final research project, the 298. A research proposal is a document that includes a thorough literature review of a topic and a research methods section that describes your ideas for how the topic could be studied with a research project. Therefore, the purpose of this paper is for you to first thoroughly review the information on a social work topic, and second, apply research methods concepts to your topic in order to create a plan for an original research study. Picking a topic for your research proposal paper is a very important step in the process. You can consider the program that was the focus of your paper last semester and examine the effectiveness of that intervention, or you can choose an entirely new topic. It's important that you choose a topic that you're excited about and something that you want to know more about. The first step in this process is a creative and exploratory step. The research proposal development module for this session will ask you to identify 3 possible research topics. If you are choosing the intervention that was the focus of your program evaluation paper last semester, then consider 3 topics related to that program or intervention. At this stage in the process, these possible topics can be broad and do not have to be well-defined questions. The idea is that you identify topics that are interesting to you. If you are thinking about linking this project to your final year research project, the 298, I'm going to ask that you not consider the feasibility of this project at this stage, but rather focus on your own interests. Even though the specific project details may change as you progress through the semester, it's important to clarify your own interests so that those can be incorporated into the project as much as possible. Ask yourself, what do you feel passionate about? What are you curious about? And what does the social work profession need to know more about? After you have identified the 3 possible topics, you can do some exploratory searches through the internet and the library. Beginning to learn about your possible topics can help you to identify which topic you want to focus on, and also to help you narrow down the topic that you decide to focus on. Searching involves general internet searches, which will identify information from the gray literature, which includes information that is not peer-reviewed or published, but may still represent important information, especially because it can be more current than peer-reviewed journals. Second, searching for information includes searching in academic databases, which include peer-reviewed studies and journals. SJSU has a number of academic databases that you can search for information. My favorite is Academic Search Premier. However, you may need to look at other databases depending on your topic. In addition, the SJSU Social Work Library Guide has a lot of information on various databases at SJSU and links to government sites with research information. This is a very useful site for finding other sites that have social work related research. When you are searching for information, consider a variety of search terms that are related to your topic. Briefly review information to learn more about your topic. As you explore your possible topics, consider the assignment directions for the introduction section of your paper. These directions ask you to consider the following questions. Why is this research topic important, or the so what question? How large of a population does this problem or issue affect? Has the problem or issue been growing larger or worse over time? What is the influence of the problem or issue on disenfranchised or marginalized groups? In other words, what does it mean for the clients that social workers serve? If your topic involves an intervention, consider why we need more research on this intervention. And if your topic does not involve an intervention, describe how more information on this topic would help the social work profession. And last, When you are considering possible research topics and beginning to search for information on your topics, think about how these possible topics are related to social work from a transcultural perspective. In particular, consider one or two components in the transcultural model that you can apply to your topic. This concludes Session 2, Phenomenology, Grounded Theory, Ethnography or Naturalism, and Case Study. The sampling in qualitative research is usually not random, but instead might use convenience sampling, purposive sampling, or snowball sampling. Because the sampling in qualitative research is not random, the external validity of qualitative research is low. External validity refers to the ability of the study's results to generalize to the population of people from which the sample was drawn. Last semester, we also talked about various types of qualitative data collection. Qualitative interviews involve one interviewer and one participant. Qualitative interviewing is a common form of data collection. Welcome to Social Work 242, Session 2. The topics of this session include qualitative data collection, qualitative data analysis, and research proposal development. We'll start with a brief overview of qualitative research. Last semester, we defined qualitative research methods as those that are focused on subjectivity in the research process. Data in qualitative research include the use of people's words or observations. The research is focused on aspects of behavior and feelings that are not easily reduced to numbers, and there's an emphasis on exploring a topic in depth. Because the data in qualitative research are not numbers, it is more difficult to establish internal validity with qualitative research compared to quantitative research. Internal validity refers to the degree to which one variable causes another variable. Instead, qualitative research focuses on exploring concepts and ideas and then grouping people's responses into categories that help reflect the meaning of the phenomenon that is being studied. The 5 research designs that we discussed last semester include narrative or life history,